Hello, this is Darth Blint, and today you're looking at a fire because it's 32 degrees. And I wanted to talk about the new Star Wars content, in my opinion, on the High Republic. As I'm sure a lot of you Star Wars fans out there already know, the High Republic has released a video basically regarding, oh, look, this is the people that are going to be writing the storylines before the High Republic, and this is basic storyline structure, and these are the people behind it, and that's all good and well. I don't mind whoever. If you're a good writer, you're a good writer. So I was watching the video, as I'm sure a lot of you people did, and I got concerned very quickly. Whenever they showed the board of like the most important things when it came to writing the new content, when it comes to the new content, I realized that they had diversity at the top, and then diversity slash representation second, and then really close to the top they had dinosaurs in big bold letters. Personally, I think Star Wars has always had representation. You have Lando from the originals, Mace Windu, the second strongest Jedi of the prequels, who legitimately could have taken down Palpatine, had him on his knees, an African American male, and not to mention that the whole Jedi structure was ran from a green alien. I'm just afraid. I'm trying to keep politics out of this, but personally, I believe that what should have been at the top of that board is one storyline, a coherent storyline, because all of these different stories that they're writing have to intertwine. They have to be connected because that's what they said they were going to do, and that's what people are going to hold them to now. And two, if they don't have them intertwined, or if they start poking plot holes in the very beginning of their stories because it's convenient for diversity's sake, people are going to get really mad. The sequels, 7, 8, 9, especially 8, got an incredible amount of hate. And I am concerned because something they said that they were going to do is have like a Western style, meets Star Wars universe. And I'm thinking to myself, do you mean like The Mandalorian? So you're going to take The Mandalorian, a show that is extremely successful in the Star Wars universe, and then you're going to take that and you're going to episode 8 it? Personally, I think that they're going to see a lot of backlash really quickly, and then they're going to start calling a lot of people really hateful things, and then it's going to lead to some more toxicity in the Star Wars community. Like, that's what we need. I would have much rather have seen them say coherent storyline is number one. Number two is that could have been diversity. And number three, or diversity slash representation. Sorry. I mean, if you want that high up there, great. But I do not think a character's personality should be revolved on whether or not their organs are down there. Like that shouldn't be a defining factor of a character. Those should be afterthoughts. A good character is defined by the actions in which they take, not by the genitals in their pants. Or the color of their skin. It's defined by, the choices they make, the development they have. We as humans love to see character development when it comes to any sort of books or movies or entertainment. We want to be able to fall in love with a character. We want to see the beginning story of how maybe they weren't such a good guy. Everybody loves a good anti-hero, and everyone will always love a good anti-hero. Because why? Progression. It's a natural state of movement. Everybody naturally evolves. But if you start a character, something that I don't want to see them do is what has been done to Doctor Who. For those of you who are not familiar with Doctor Who's modern spin, or aren't really a fan, they changed Doctor Who into a female, which I have no problem with. Great. Love the idea. That's different. But in every episode, It's like as if they're trying to force social politics down your throat. Like literally, almost like there's a break and talk to the camera about how horrible, like men are, or why women should have this or do this. And it's like, yes, I agree with you. But the women should have equal rights as men. No one's going to argue that. Women are equal to men, and I praise anyone who says that because that's the truth. What I do not like is whenever I'm trying to escape in a fantasy realm and not have to worry about social politics or have to worry about what's going on in the real world, which is why I read fantasy novels and love fantasy stuff to begin with. And all of a sudden, I'm sucked back into reality and I'm removed from the story because, oh, yeah, that's right. People are really mad about that. Which a lot of people are going to say, yeah, and you need to hear it. But do I need to hear it in my Star Wars? Do I need to hear it in my fantasy novels? There's a reason why Mandalorian is doing so well. And it's, one, it's being faithful to itself. And two, it's got a storyline and it's not apologizing for it. Story comes first. And I love it. I love the way they're going, and I look forward to future content. But this new content that they're starting like 200, 300 years before episode 1, the one and only thing that I'm looking forward to from it at this moment in time is seeing Yoda in his prime state. What does a excuse me. What does a normal aged Yoda look? A prime aged Yoda look like? What can a prime aged Yoda do? And another thing that I am not happy about when it comes to these prequels, the PPs, is the enemy. What are Jedi's afraid of? Space Vikings? Really? No. You know what would have been a much better alternative to that? Love, emotion, fear. These are things that Jedi are afraid of. These are why Jedi leave the Order. What I would love to have seen is maybe a plot line where a master and an apprentice fall in love together. And they come to the horrible realization that, yes, we do love each other. Now what? What do we do now? Can we still be Jedis? Can we still be in the Order? Can we tell anybody what's going on? Like, that is real. That is scared to the bone Jedi. And I know what you're thinking: prequel story. But no, think about it this way, okay? Think about it. You have a Jedi, right? What about this as another alternative? You have a Jedi Knight who lost a Padawan in some sort of like battle, right? And then the Jedi Knight takes on a new apprentice, and because the Council dictates that the Jedi Knight needs to take on an apprentice, and then after that, this Jedi Knight starts having like fear that his next apprentice is going to die, so he doesn't let him go out on missions. He doesn't let him get involved in danger, and then eventually the apprentice starts getting fed up with it and going out anyways, and then the Jedi is stricken with fear and has to experience it and have it drawn to the forefront, and the other Jedi feel his fear as well, and now there's a whole complexity of you fear the loss of a Padawan. What do Jedis do in that instant? Do they remove them from the Jedi Order? Do they take them for counseling? Do they have to go under some sort of like new training? And what happens if it doesn't work and the Jedi's like, you know what, maybe I'm not okay with potentially having a Padawan die. Maybe I shouldn't have a Padawan, So there's the love angle, there's the fear angle, and then what about these are things that I think should be powerful plot lines within the prequels, okay? These are things that Jedi are deathly afraid of, And what about, things like that? And yeah, everyone's saying, yeah, the Jedi are the Sith are in hiding at this time. The Sith are in hiding. I still want to see what they're doing. I want there to be some sort of behind the scenes, this is what the Sith are up to timeline going on. Okay? And maybe some of the Jedi run into the Sith and they kill them. Like, the Sith have to be seen at some point. Space Vikings is a joke. If they're Force users, I may give them a chance. But, you know, chaos, that's what they're trying to get at. Chaos is is what Jedi are afraid of, because Jedi are all about order. So Space Vikings causing chaos, yeah, that's okay, that's decent, but it better be done right. And there's way more than just chaos, you know. That is just like an umbrella statement of so many things. I want details. I want to know exactly what to expect. And, well, no, I don't. I don't want to have all the spoilers. But I want there to be something more than just chaos. Give me some underlying stories. I want to see a person who had been Jedi mind tricked and is now mentally destroyed because of it. You know, like, what are the actual ramifications of a Jedi mind trick? How does that affect a person who knows that they are vulnerable to it and have been, you know, Jedi mind tricked? You know, there's some ethical boundaries there about taking over someone's will and bending them to your will, you know? And it's all by your perspective of good. So, from a certain perspective, they're bending the will of a person just for their own agendas. You know, what happens to a person who's had that done to them and they're mentally scarred forever, you know, and they're torn up? If you're going to do some sort of story of like a Mandalorian or like a rogue, you know, like spy smuggler, let that be a part of his character. Let him have a natural fear of mind control for good reasons, you know? Like, play into the stigma that Jedi may not be completely good. That would get you a lot more views, because that kind of content is blowing up right now. You know, people like to see bad heroes or questionable gray areas, you know, and Jedis and Sith are the definition of questionable gray areas. One is not better than the other in any way, shape, or form, in my opinion. And I am willing to debate that if you want to. But these are the type of storylines that make what you're seeing relatable. And these are the kind of storylines that I want to see, because it's like, oh yeah, this is, you know, I would probably have this problem if I was in this universe. Now I can relate to this character and I'm more involved with the storyline. That's how I hope that the prequels are. Do I think that's what's going to happen? Probably not. But at the end of the day, it's nothing I can do about it. Just express my opinion. What are your thoughts from the video? If you haven't seen it, then, you know, go watch it. Are you excited for the comics, the potential Disney shows and movies from it? And yeah, if you haven't liked and aren't subscribed, do so for a chance to win a Ultra Saber Mystery Box giveaway that I do on the 20th of every month. And if you are subscribed, hit that like and leave another comment for more entries into the video. This has been Darth Blint, and may your chains be broken. Until next time, my friends.